Hey, friends! It's your old pal, Barkey J. Dog here, back with another movie review. King Kong! Who doesn't love him? Even in Japan, they like the big ape. And believe it or not, they even made some King Kong movies of their own. So this time, we're taking a look at Toho's King Kong. One of my viewers, Miss Clara, asked if I'd take a look at this one, and it turned out I had a copy of this disc, so here goes. First up, we have King Kong vs. Godzilla from 1963. Technically 1962, but I have the American release here, so 1963. Our story goes like this. An expedition has discovered these goofy berries on an island which a native tribe has cultivated. It has all kinds of health benefits, they say. Trouble is, this tribe is using the berries for one purpose and one purpose only. Namely, so this here giant gorilla, King Kong, can get drunk. And that's how they mollify him. Well, a pharmaceutical company wants to market these berries and figures King Kong would make a good advertising gimmick, so they set about to gorilla nap King Kong from the island. Which they do. But then Godzilla shows up, and you guessed it, the pair are destined to fight each other. The pharmaceutical company is fine with that, and promote the fight as if it were a boxing match. Well, one thing leads to another, and that leads to something else, as so often happens, and the giant monsters have a run-in, which sets the stage for combat. Later, they go at it for real. They meet up, and when the two finally throw down, they make sweet, sweet monster love. And then they break up. So, who wins? Well, I'm not going to tell you. You'll have to watch the movie to find out. No matter how much you love King Kong, let's just be real here. King Kong is no match for Godzilla. I know all about those recent CGI pictures, but I haven't seen them. I don't care for the design of the American Godzilla. He's too fat and his jaw doesn't look right, and it's all CGI. No thanks. Give me Godzilla -1 or a guy in a suit. Then he looks right, but I don't think the American one looks that good. But the point is, Godzilla is fighting Rodan and King Ghidorah and guys like that. He has radioactive morning breath, and he's pretty much a force of nature. King Kong is essentially just a giant gorilla. He's just a big ape. He's strong, sure, but come on. He does have brains enough to keep his distance from Godzilla when they first meet. I'll give him that. But there's no way he could win this thing. Fortunately for King Kong, Godzilla is pretty much just a guest star. That kind of holds him back in this fight. And realizing Godzilla would totally wipe the floor with King Kong, Toho decided to give him an edge. When King Kong gets hit by electricity, it energizes him. Somehow. That's not a thing he could ever really do. And unlike other Godzilla movies, the humans actually find a way to stymie Godzilla. Something traditionally they could never do, not for long anyway. Here, Godzilla is held at bay by high-tension electrical cables, but that never stopped him before. I mean, Godzilla just waltzed through those things, right? And it never fazed him. But, of course, they had to delay Godzilla so King Kong would be ready to fight. This was where Godzilla started getting dopey. Dancing and using his Godzilla breath to fly away, helping out and practically being a pal to mankind. I still love it, though, but he's not exactly the badass he was in the original Godzilla, is he? Just gotta be said. Still love it, but just saying. You'll notice King Kong changes from scene to scene. That's on account of them having multiple gorilla suits. One had short arms for when King Kong has to handle objects, and another had super long arms. In that one, the guy in the suit couldn't reach the hands, so he held onto sticks inside the arms so he could move them. Now, again, this is the American version of the movie, so it does have a few things trimmed a bit, and a few scenes were rearranged, but aside from some minor differences, you pretty much still get the full story. One thing I found kind of interesting here is that they added a framing device for American audiences, which involves the United Nations. Apparently, the UN has its own television network where they talk about interesting events going on around the world, including covering scientific expeditions. American actor Michael Keith plays the UN TV anchorman. He's pretty good, actually. And all these scenes they added with this guy, they actually kind of work. Well, this movie was successful enough to warrant a sequel. The rights Toho got from RKO, who owned King Kong, were going to expire, so they set to work. They came up with another King Kong story, King Kong Escapes, from 1967. And this one was a co-production between Toho and our old friends Rankin. That's right, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer guys. In this one, the evil Doctor Who. No, not that one. This is Dr. Hugh, spelled H-U, Hugh. So, Dr. Hugh. Anyway, he's bad, and he's been commissioned by an unnamed government. It's China. To dig up a super rare radioactive element called Element X. Apparently, with enough of this stuff, you could rule the world. This cute chick here is their representative. Well, not John Pertwee here, Dr. Hugh. He builds a giant mecha gorilla to dig up this Element X. Why a gorilla? Well, your guess is as good as mine. I suppose because this is a King Kong movie. Anyway, it doesn't work. Element X burns out its circuits or something. Somehow he gets it back to the lab for repairs, but decides what he really needs to do is capture King Kong and get him to dig up Element X. So he does. Our heroes work for the UN, and they try to stop Dr. Hugh and save King Kong. King Kong always had an eye for the ladies, and sure enough, shades of Fay Wray, he grabs the love interest lady here, then he throws down against Dr. Hugh's evil mecha gorilla, because you knew that was gonna happen sooner or later. Does King Kong win? Do the bad guys get Element X? Well, again, you need to watch the movie to find out, because I'm not going to tell you. Interestingly, this does sport some American actors in the cast. Rhodes Reason plays the stalwart love interest and hero guy in this thing. If he seems familiar, that's because he played Flavius in this episode of classic Star Trek, Bread and Circuses. Linda Miller plays Not Fay Wray. She was a model working in Japan at the time and handpicked by Arthur Rankin himself for the part. And even though she was an American, her voice got dubbed anyway. I don't know what that says about her acting, but that's what they did anyway. Julie Bennett dubbed her, as well as the sexy liaison chick. We last saw her in my review of Hey There, It's Yogi Bear, where she voiced Cindy Bear. Miller later popped up as a nurse in the Italian sci-fi picture The Green Slime. Hideo Yamamoto, a prolific character actor in Japan, played not John Pertwee in this one, the villainous Dr. Hugh. He really is fun as the baddie, and he makes the most of this crazy getup he has to wear. And finally, Burgermeister Meisterburger himself, the man of 1,000 voices, Paul Frees, voices Doctor Who. Rankin Bass had a cartoon series about King Kong and was hoping to bring their original characters from it to live action, but that never happened, so we got Rhodes Reason and his crew versus Doctor Who and company instead. Well, both of these are pretty dopey, of course, but that doesn't mean they aren't fun to watch, and you can see how Toho was trying to play to the American market here. Both movies have things to recommend them. The whole United Nations television network thing and King Kong versus Godzilla is kind of interesting, and it looks good. The host Anchorman guy is quite serviceable, and Doctor Who in King Kong Escapes, what can I say? He's tearing it up as the baddie. He's a real hoot. These two Blu-rays are fairly cheap, and the movies are fun. Again, these are strictly the American versions. There are no extras to speak of, but the prints look good. They're worth picking up if you like Godzilla or King Kong and haven't seen these before. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.